What's up guys, Jeff Cavalier, ATHLEAN-X.com. Today I'm bringing you the perfect back workout, continuing the perfect series here, and we have to face the facts here right away guys. The back is not a single muscle group, right? We know that the back is made up of many muscles, which makes it a lot more difficult to piece together a workout that's going to hit all of these areas. Remember, it's not just the lats that we're worried about here guys, it's all the other things that we oftentimes can't even see unless we actually know that we have to train them and focus on them. So guys, with that in mind, we're gonna have to kind of piece together a game plan, a plan of attack. And to do that, we wanna make sure that we hit the different areas. Number one, okay, let's address the lats. We know we're gonna need to hit them. And we can do that with specific exercises that do that well. But we also know that the traps take up a major portion of our back. Both the upper traps and the lower traps, one of the most important parts, I think, for posture and for the proper functioning of your shoulder, we're gonna have to hit those as well. The low back, again, no less crucial, guys. It's very, very important to how we feel, to how we function, and to making the entire kinetic chain work well. We need to make sure that we're addressing that as well. We have other muscles too, like the rotator cuff. Yes, those muscles all reside on the back of our shoulder and our upper back, which means if you're going to develop your back entirely, you need to focus on those too. And even something like the teres major, we want to make sure that that muscle, because we can hit that preferentially a little bit more by altering the way we perform a popular exercise, that's going to be something we want to address too. But of course, we got to make sure we do this within a reasonable amount of time. And to do that, we would always start with a big compound movement that's going to accomplish and hit a lot of these areas at once. So with that being said, let's get started. Let's kick off the perfect back workout. All right, so we kick off the perfect back workout here with the compound lift, like I said, the deadlift. A great foundational exercise that actually is chosen because it hits a lot of those areas that we mentioned in the open. We're going to hit the traps, we're going to really work the spinal erectors, it's going to help us train the lats, it's going to help us train straight arm scapular strength, something we're actually going to get into specifically here in a second. But more importantly, what we can do is realize that there are some compressive effects on the spine from doing the deadlift. We can actually pair this right up with another great compound movement, the weighted chin up, and allow us to actually get a decompressive effect when paired up together with this. So the way we break it down is 2 sets of a deadlift paired up with a weighted chin, 2 sets of a deadlift paired up with a body weight wide grip pull up for a different purpose. But let's get to the deadlift first. What we want to do is as we work our way up, because we're going to be working with heavier weights here today, 8, 6, 4, and 4 for our 4 deadlift sets, what we want to do is make sure that we're adequately warming up. So you're going to have to perform a few sub-maximal light warm-up sets along the way. Do this one thing for me as you do. Incorporate a straight arm push down while you do. Why? I love the straight arm push down. I think it's one of the most underutilized back exercises. It's one of the ones most helpful to ingraining one of the most critical elements of the deadlift, and that is the ability to perform straight arm scapular strength work, to provide and reinforce the stability of your shoulder blades to keep that upper body tightness when you do the lift. Do 1 set here, not to failure, each time you do a warm-up set. Now when you're ready to go and your first set is 8 reps on the deadlift, you want to make sure that you pair it up with, as I said in the beginning, a weighted chin up, right? We're going to do that compressive, decompressive effect. As we do that, we do a 2-minute rest after the first set. We go over and perform the weighted chin up. Here I'm trying to go on the heavier side. So for me, I'm looking for about 4 reps. Then we go back to the deadlift once again, increasing the weight a little bit to 6 reps. And here we go back to the weighted chin. And what I've done is actually try to cut the weight in half. So now I can get about 8 to 10 reps, right? For me, again, I'll strip 1 plate and keep going. Now we come back, we go back to the deadlift again for our 2 heaviest sets, a 4 rep and a 4 rep. The rest time, however, is going to continue to decrease. And here I'm going straight body weight up to the bar here with a wide grip pull-ups. Why are we doing this? Because the wide grip we know will allow us to hit the teres major a little bit more than it will the lats. We've already hit the lats really well with the underhand chin up because it places the lats on greater stretch based on their attachment. Out in front of the body gives us a better stretch at the top than it would with our arms out to the side. But we shift the focus now. We shift the focus now to the teres major for these last 2 sets. And again, the rest time is decreased because we're going straight body weight here on those wide grip pull-ups. From here now we go and we want to make sure we train something explosively, guys. One of the rules of training athletes is what you slow down, you should speed up. So if we can do something explosively for the back, we want to take all opportunities to do that. And for me, my favorite exercise for this is the barbell dead row. It actually builds off of the same movement pattern we use for the deadlift, allowing you to train explosively, actually priming the performance on this move because it shares similar biomechanics, and we actually stop right there at the knees and continue to drive up and perform the rest of the row. It's an explosive movement. Again, we don't go to failure here, and we're looking for how quickly can we explode this weight off of the ground. You're not going light, you're not going super, super heavy. Choose about a 10 to 12 rep max and perform 8 to 10 reps. Okay, so the next exercise here is actually an opportunity to create something I believe is incredibly important and sometimes overlooked, and that is the value of focused attention. I actually just laid this out in the video on biceps and how you want to complement your heavier compound training with focused attention and overload on the muscle you're trying to develop. And we go back to the lats here with 2 exercise options. They're 2 of my favorite. You get a choice between the 2, but what you want to do is really focus on how you do them. So the first one here is a one-arm alternating high cable row. I do it in alternating fashion here to keep this workout moving along, so I can actually just go right to left and save an additional set in the process. The point here though is this exercise is perfect for taking the lats through their entire range of motion. I'm able to get my arm out in front of my body like I just said on the chin-ups, and why that's a superior exercise is because it gets my lat out in full stretch and still get it all the way back behind my body into extension, but also adducted tightly to my side, hitting all the major functions of the lats and even getting a little bit of rotation on the back to really get into more extension. I could do that here as my exercise option, or I could choose to do this variation of the pull down that I've covered before, which is probably the best way to do a pull down, and it's the rocking pull down. And what we're getting here is the same idea. We're not just staying here in this frontal plane and getting our arms adducted and sort of limited to how much we can adduct them into our sides. We're getting down, and then because of the rock, we're getting it down closer to our sides, more to adduction, and also back behind our body more into extension. A better lat contraction. If you haven't tried this, all you have to do is give it a try, and I promise you, you're gonna see the results. And you won't have to sacrifice the weight you're using so much to do this. You can use the same type of weights, maybe dropping down just a plate or 2, but you'll be able to get a much better contraction. And again, this focused tension has a place, especially when you're looking for some of the aesthetic benefit on top of the athletic performance we're already building on and the strength we've already built on in the workout. Now moving on from here, guys, you know that no perfect back workout for me would be complete without addressing the smaller muscles, the ones that people don't really care about, the corrective exercises, as some would say. They always have a place in here because we know that we're only as strong as our weakest link. If we can fill in the gaps with our corrective exercises, hitting the areas that don't get hit enough, we know we can fortify the entire area much better. And we do that here with our hyper YW combo. So what's the purpose here? You can do this in a glute ham raise, or you could do this here on a physio ball like I'm showing you. The purpose is I really want to work my lower traps. I realize and understand the importance of the lower traps, and especially when it relates to creating shoulder stability and proper mobility and function of the shoulder, especially as I raise my arm overhead. So the lower traps function is to make sure that happens right. And we do this here with our Y. When I get my arms up and over my body in this Y position, I'm really activating the lower traps and training them how to fire properly and in the right sequence. But we can go right from there into a W. And the action of the W is actually to create external rotation at the shoulder, which is going to incorporate the muscles of the rotator cuff. Again, if you're not doing rotator cuff at least 2 to 3 times a week, you're not training it enough. We can actually build it right in here into our pulling workout, and again, training the muscles that are in the same location and area, working with other muscles they prefer to work with. So get the external rotation from the W, get the Y for the lower traps, alternate them one by one, perform 14 to 20 reps here, alternating every single rep. And then finally, guys, talking about the traps here, we're gonna finish this workout up with the area you probably focus on more often, and that is the upper traps. And we can do that with a standard barbell shrug. You can take a slightly wider grip here that puts the angle of the arms more in alignment with the orientation of the fibers of the upper traps, or you can go narrow if it's more comfortable for you, but it's the performance of this and how you do this that makes all the difference. And what we're doing here is it's a finisher, it's a ladder. We're gonna work our way up from 1 to 10. Now for the sickos out there, guys, I'm gonna give you an option to work your way back down from 10 to 1. But you perform a single rep, and then you perform a contraction at the top of the shrug for a second. You perform 2 reps, you perform a 2-second shrug at the top and hold. You perform 3 reps, and then a 3-second shrug and hold. If at any time you can't perform the hold or you can't perform the rest of your reps, you put the bar down, rest momentarily, pick it back up again, and work your way through. It's a burner, it's a killer, but it's gonna give you just enough work and volume in addition to what you've already done here with the deadlifts to finish off the traps the right way. So there you have it, guys. There is the perfect back workout. I'm laying it all out for you here, step by step, all sets, all reps for you guys to follow, copy down, and try yourself. I promise you, you're gonna see and feel the difference. When you put together the workout, you have to realize there's a lot of stuff going on here. There's a lot of things we can do differently here. But if you only could do one, this is what I think you should invest your time into and try it, because I think you're gonna see the most results from that. In the meantime, guys, if you're looking for other workouts in the Perfect Workout series, make sure you check them out here on our channel. If you haven't already done so, click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss a video when it's published. And if you're looking for step-by-step programs, guys, every day, laid out for you, rep by rep, set by set, I have them all laid out for you, all selected and chosen by putting the science back in strength. We have those over for you guys at ATHLEAN-X.com. All right, guys, we'll be back here again in just a few days with another video. See ya.